Pretend Pastry Kitchen. I'm Emma, and today I'll be showing you how to make mille-feuilles. They are layered stacks of pastry with a creme fraiche pastry cream. Look at how many layers of deliciousness there are. Let me show you how to make it. Before starting to make the dough, cube up and then freeze for at least 30 minutes, 1 2/3 cup or 26 2/3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to set this aside for now and add 3 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 tablespoon of salt to a food processor. We're going to pulse until that's well combined. Once the flour and salt are well combined, we're going to gradually add in our cubed frozen butter. Continue to pulse throughout until all the butter is well combined, and continue pulsing until the butter is down to about dime-sized pieces or little chunks. Once you have a crumbly, homogeneous mixture, turn the food processor on, and while it's running, gradually add 2/3 cup of ice water. Once your dough looks a little something like this, we're going to turn it out onto a lightly floured surface, shape it into a dough ball, and then cover it in plastic wrap and place it in the fridge for 30 minutes. To start the pastry cream, we're going to whisk together in a large mixing bowl 8 egg yolks. Set aside the whites, you won't need them for this recipe, but keep them, make some meringues or macarons. But we're going to add 8 egg yolks to this bowl, along with 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup plus 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Once all your ingredients are well combined in here, continue whisking for about another 2 minutes until the mixture is smoother and lighter in color. It'll look a little bit fluffier at that point. Then we'll set it aside. Your mixture should look like this when you're done whisking, and we can set this aside for now. Now we'll add 3 cups of whole milk, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and a vanilla bean plus the inside scraped lengthwise into a large saucepan and heat it on medium heat until it is steaming. Then we'll remove the vanilla bean, bring it back here, and then gently and slowly mix it into the egg mixture while whisking constantly so that we don't cook the eggs with the hot milk. Now I have my hot milk mixture, and I'm going to slowly pour it into the egg yolk mixture and whisk in between additions so that we're not cooking the egg yolk mixture. Now we're going to pour this back into the saucepan, return to medium heat, and cook it for about 4 to 5 minutes until it's boiling and it thickens up to a pudding-like consistency. Now my pastry cream looks like this, and we're going to strain it using a fine mesh sieve back into our large mixing bowl. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. Give that a good mix, then add another 2 tablespoons. Mix that up, and then we're going to cover the surface of the pastry cream with plastic wrap and place it in the fridge for 30 minutes. The plastic wrap just helps it avoid forming a film. Your pastry cream should basically be pudding-like in consistency and super smooth and silky. It should look like this when it's done, and then we'll cover it with plastic wrap and allow it to cool completely in the fridge. Now I've unwrapped the dough and taken it out of the fridge, and we're gonna roll it out into a 20 by 10 inch approximate rectangle, and then we're gonna fold it in thirds like a letter and turn it 90 degrees and repeat twice. I'll show you. We're gonna start by lightly flouring the surface and putting a little bit of flour on top of our dough as well, and then just try and make a rectangle that's about twice as long as it is wide. Fold this in thirds just like a letter, so approximate thirds and then fold each of the ends into the middle third. Now we'll rotate this 90 degrees and repeat the process. Cover this with plastic wrap and place in the fridge for 20 minutes. Now I've taken my dough out of the fridge and I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. Now we're going to roll out the dough into about a 20 inch by 12 inch rectangle. Then we're going to cut it into 36 strips, so 12 by 3. Now we're going to place our 36 rectangles about half an inch apart from each other on a sheet of parchment paper on the bottom of a baking sheet. Then we're going to take another sheet of parchment paper and sandwich our dough in there, and then sandwich it between another baking sheet right way up. Stacked, the baking sheets will look like this, with 2 pieces of parchment paper and the dough in between that. We're going to bake it like that for 15 minutes. Halfway through, at about the 7.5 minute mark, we're going to rotate the baking sheets 180 degrees so that they cook thoroughly and evenly. And then we're going to take this top sheet off along with the top sheet of parchment paper at the 15-minute mark and bake for another 3 to 5 minutes until they're a deep golden brown color. Once your pastry cream is completely cooled, remove the plastic wrap and then whisk until it's smooth. Now we're going to add half a cup of sour cream. Once again, whisk until smooth. Once your pastry cream looks a little something like this, transfer it to a piping bag. I'm going to use a gallon-size freezer-strength Ziploc bag, and then it'll be ready to pipe onto our pastries. I'm adding about half of our pastry cream at a time to the piping bag just so that it's not too much at one time and I don't have too much pressure on my hand pushing back from the pastry cream at one time. I've stacked all of my pastries into stacks of 4 similarly sized pastries, and now I'm going to unstack them, but this is for the purpose of figuring out that I have 8 nice stacks of 4 pastries tall, and now I'm going to lay it back out forwards like this. That way we have them nicely planned out before we start piping, and cut the tip off of the piping bag to start the process. Now we're going to cut the tip off of our piping bag and pipe large dots on these bottom pastries, then stack this second row of pastries on top, and then pipe large dots of the pastry cream on top of that, layer, pipe large dots of the pastry cream on that, and then don't pipe pastry cream on top of the top pastry. We're going to dust those with powdered sugar to make them look all pretty. I have some extra pastry cream, so I'm going to decorate the tops of these with a couple dots of the pastry cream. Lastly, we're going to coat these with a dusting of powdered sugar. And here are our finished mille-feuilles. I hope you guys like this recipe. Let me know if you try it out. Send me pictures if you do. If you like this recipe, leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you want to see next. I can't wait to bake with you again. Bye!